Hello, Nebraska! This is Training Blend, the official podcast of the State of Nebraska Training and Development Team. I'm your host, Lisa Minke, and with me, as always, are, some members of the training team, one specifically. In this case, Katie's here today.
Hello.
And filling in for the rest of our illustrious teammates is our one and only Kevin Workman.
Hello, everyone.
He's back, but at this time he's on the other side of the mic, and I'm sure he's relieved about that. We're also joined today by some special guests. We have, from right here in State Personnel, Christy Osentowski.
Hello.
And Christy is here to talk to us about some of our benefits, and one in particular. And from United Healthcare, we have Jane Perez.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And Jane is our Strategic Client Executive from United Healthcare. And from Real Appeal, we have Billy Ryan.
Hello, I like how you saved me for last.
Well, we saved the best for last.
Oh, perfect. I figured.
Billy is our Real Appeal certified health coach. Even without some of our training teammates, we've got a full house. So this is exciting. Before we jump into the main part of our discussion, we always like to start with a few hot seat questions for our guests. So here's the ground rules. Answer as quickly as possible. Don't think about it. And we'll get through them and we'll see how much fun it is.
Oh,
okay, ready? So this is going to be for the three of you, Christy, Jane, and Billy. Just shout out your answers. All right. Bacon or sausage?
Bacon.
Bacon.
Drive or fly?
Drive.
Drive.
Wow.
Well, okay. Morning person or night owl?
Morning.
Both.
Morning.
Both.
Country or city?
Country.
City.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Cats.
Both. And horses.
And horses.
Favorite spot to vacation?
Colorado.
Home.
New York.
Staycation.
Staycations for you,
Yes,
Billy.
staycation.
Okay. You said New York?
Yep.
Wow. Your favorite smell?
Cinnamon.
Horses.
Bonfire.
Those things could go together.
Oh, yeah.
Horses and bonfire?
That's
Are you sure?
I was thinking of fall. Horse rides,
Yeah, like a
cinnamon.
pumpkin patch.
Oh, okay.
Bonfire.
I was
Wow.
hoping somebody would say bacon.
So I had these morbid thoughts going on.
Your favorite season?
Fall.
Fall.
Winter.
Ooh.
I love snow.
Okay.
One of the few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's got to be someone.
Pumpkin spice or apple cider?
Pumpkin
apple cider.
spice.
Apple cider.
Oh, we're divided. Where are you, Katie?
Apple cider.
Me too.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Kevin?
Yeah, me too. Apple cider.
Ooh,
I'm
you're-
the odd man out.
You're the only pumpkin spice
I'm
guy.
the basic.
All right. This one you can answer individually so we can kind of hear better what your answers are. What are you reading or listening to lately?
I am reading some books on Secret Service from the Kennedy presidency. Clint Hill, he's written a few books. And so I'm reading his books right now.
Are they fiction?
They are everything that happened on while he was a Secret Service agent for Jacqueline Kennedy.
Wow.
He was specifically assigned to her.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, they're really interesting.
I'm reading Resurrection. It's about the death and resurrection of Christ and all the historical facts surrounding that. And I'm listening to Blink-182's new album 9, which a lot of people are like, oh, it's horrible. But I like it. So, you know what? If you don't like it, that's you.
I just saw them on the halftime show Monday Night Football this week.
Yeah, and they really did not do a great job. I gotta admit, they're not a good live band, but I grew up on them, so.
Yeah. Well, there's always those favorites.
Yep.
All right. And Jane?
I am actually listening. I study Pirelli natural horsemanship, and so I watch a variety of DVDs and live Facebook chats on training and having a relationship with your horses.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Same for this question. Make, model, and color of your first car.
Oh, Toyota Celica Red.
Toyota Camry Maroon.
Ooh, that's similar.
My first vehicle was a 1974 Ford van
That's awesome.
with seats that turned around to the back.
Oh, the conversion.
The conversion van.
Party van.
There were a lot of friends in that van on any given weekend. It held a lot of people.
I would totally buy one of those if I saw it right now.
Yeah, it was probably not the best choice for my parents to put me in that.
No, what were they
vehicle.
thinking? They're like, here, just have a party.
A rolling party.
Exactly.
All right, well, so you passed. Congratulations. We can go on to the next phase of our interview.
Did we get a prize?
You get to talk with us a little longer.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right,
I'll
cool.
take it.
We'll start with some questions for you, Christy. Tell us about your role here at DAS.
Well, currently I'm the Director of Total Rewards and also the Wellness and Benefits Administrator. So in that role, it's kind of a dual role for the time being. So I oversee class and comp, and I also oversee the employee recognition and engagement piece of our program, and then the benefits program.
That seems like a lot on your plate.
It is a lot.
So what was the path that brought you to this role?
For most of my adult life, I worked at an agency where we worked with troubled youth, at-risk youth, and I kind of worked my way through that program, direct line staff, supervisory staff, training, HR, started working a little bit in insurance with the HR. And then when that business started going through some pretty significant restructuring, the opportunity presented itself that I went and worked strictly at a broker's office and did benefits for lots of different groups. Beyond that, when the opportunity presented itself at the state of Nebraska, it was very interesting to me and intriguing with all of the benefits and everything that goes into play on a state level. And so I thought it would be really exciting and challenging, and so I moved forward with that decision and came here.
What's your favorite part about what you're doing?
I would say my favorite part is that no day is ever the same. Every single day I come to work, there's new challenges, there's new opportunities, things to figure out, ways to help our teammates benefit from all the benefits and programs we have to offer.
What's something about your job that you wish others knew?
One thing that I really wish people understood was that it's an extremely important job. It's also really important for me to look at how decisions that I make benefit the entire state and all of our teammates across the state. But at the same time, I have to think about each person individually and take all of their individual things that are going on in their lives and issues that are happening to them. And I have to take all that into account when I make decisions. Every day has challenges as far as making decisions that are good for our plan.
Christy, could you tell us about this program called Real Appeal and how it came to be available to state teammates?
Real Appeal came to us through Jane Perez, who is our specific executive through United Healthcare. She actually completed the program a few years ago and then was really excited about it and brought it to me and shared it with me. And at the time we were looking for a new wellness program or some type of wellness program that we could offer our teammates. And so we moved forward with that decision.
Is it only offered to teammates?
Our Real Appeal program is available to teammates that are on our medical plan, in addition to their spouses if they're on the plan, and also dependents that are 18 years or older.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
You could transform an entire family.
Yeah. And I think we have started to do that.
What kind of feedback have you received about the program?
We have received a lot of really good feedback. Jane and I actually travel across the state of Nebraska during open enrollment, prior to open enrollment. And so we've heard from a lot of people how excited they are. They like the weekly check-in. We've even had one gal tell us that she tried to get all of her coworkers to join so that they could all do it together and all be successful. We've heard a lot of good feedback concerning longevity after the program's over. They've completed it. We've had one gal that wasn't quite happy with how she ended the first round of Real Appeal, and she was excited and hadn't given up yet, and she was going to go back and do a second round. So I think it's showing investment on both the state's part and our teammates' part. This program is really making some positive changes for people in their life.
Are there any positive stories that have come out of our teammates that you'd like to share?
Yeah, we've had a couple of teammates share with us that they continue to meet with their group. They've formed Facebook chats. They get on, that way they can continue to support each other all week long and long beyond their weekly meeting with their Real Appeal coach. So that's something that's really encouraging. We've also had a few people say that this is the first time they've been on a program that has helped them maintain their weight loss. You have all those yo-yo diets and you go up and you go down, and we've had a lot of people call and say how appreciative they are that we started this program, because this has really helped them maintain that level of a healthy lifestyle.
I love hearing that. Like, that never gets old as a coach, because it's absolutely true. It's the same feedback I get, and it just blows my mind. That's why I love what I do. I've had members talk about how they've completely got off their blood pressure medication, completely off diabetic medication, and I mean, I've been known to actually get a little teary-eyed in sessions myself, just because they're so emotionally invested, and the members that come around them and rally around them and just lift them up, to me, it's not really just one story in particular. It's honestly an ongoing thing, a daily thing, where I hear people just completely turning that corner, and to me, it's the most rewarding thing I think I've ever done with my life.
What would you say, any of you, in your opinion, what makes this such an amazing benefit, other than everything we've already heard? Is there one thing that you can point to that says, wow, this is a great benefit for the workplace?
I think for me, as part of the wellness and benefits team, the great thing to hear is, like Billy said, people getting healthier, they're taking the time. One thing to keep in mind, though, you come to this program when you're ready to come to this program. It's not something that we're making anyone do. You don't have to participate if it's not your cup of tea. But when you're ready and you're focused and you're energized and excited about doing something new, it's there for you. And it's only going to help you every week to make yourself a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. In all transparency, I'm a part of the program, and I've had my ups and my downs. One of the things I love about it, and why I think it's a great benefit, is that it approaches health holistically, right? So it's not just a diet, it's not just exercise, it's approaching the mental aspect, the psychology of it all, addresses all, really, I think, all of the little stumbling blocks sometimes that we stumble over out there, whether it's a holiday, or in my case, I had a couple injuries earlier this year that got me off track, and I'm trying to get back into it. But and it's always very encouraging going to the sessions I had scheduled on Thursday remotely, and seeing the coaches and interacting with the other people. It's very beneficial and productive.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, are you going to edit out that he said a bad word? Diet? That's a form of I honestly, yeah, like you said, it's not a diet, because when individuals tend to think about a diet, they think about what they can do and what they can't do. There are no have-tos, there's only want-tos with Real Appeal, and that's kind of what separates it from the other programs, because we really meet the member where they are, and it's up to them to make that change. I mean, as a coach, I'm there to support them, whether they are ready to make that change or not. You know, I'm not going to judge them for being where they are, because, I mean, we've all been there. It's life. You know, we all have a different story, but we're still taking that same journey together. And the community within Real Appeal is really what I think makes it unique, in the fact that people come in, and I always tell my members, I'm like, you may not recognize these names right now, but I guarantee you 5, 6, 10 weeks from now, you're going to be looking at so-and-so and being like, oh, how you been this week? And you're going to form like a family, and they're like, oh, come on, Coach Billy, you're kidding me. Sure enough, 5, 10 weeks in, they're forming Facebook groups, they're really invested. So I think just meeting the member where they are and letting them know that it's okay to not be okay is what separates us.
And you have an experience too, Jane.
I do have an experience. And, you know, a lot of my experience is similar to what Billy and Christy have talked about. But for me, I was extremely skeptical. I'm in my 60s, and I had tried every program that was ever offered in your entire experience, and they never lasted. So I went into Real Appeal saying, really, 52 weeks? Are you kidding me? I know all this. I don't need 52 weeks, but I'll try. So I set a goal weight that was my high school graduation weight, and because I knew I'd never hit that. Well, at week 50, I was able to share with my community that I had actually hit my goal weight.
Wow,
And
congratulations.
That's awesome.
But to me, the thing that set Real Appeal apart for me really was that was 3 years ago. And when I weighed myself this morning, I will tell you truthfully, I am within 5 pounds of that weight right now.
Amazing.
So that's the difference for me. It's something that changed how I looked at things, how I ate, how I moved, how I lived my life. So I think it's a great program.
And I can attest to that because I was with Jane when we were sitting in meetings and she'd say, "Oh, I got to get up and go for some walks. Let's go for some steps."
Yes.
And off we would go and take a little walk around the block and come back.
So she roped you into that.
Yeah,
that
she
portion.
did. And when we
Way to
traveled
go.
across the state, she had her cooler and her vegetables and her fruits, and she was very, very dedicated to the program. And I was there to see part of it. So
So cool.
yeah,
That's amazing.
I love hearing that.
yep.
Well, and since Kevin opened the door to transparency, I will say also that I have recently started.
Yes.
And I actually tried it a year and a half ago and had quite a bit of success. I think I got to like week 38, and then we had some family things, and I decided to step back and take care of the family. But I remember the support and how it felt different from anything else. And now I'm in a different situation where I'm approaching 50 and looking at some potential health concerns because I need to make some changes. And I remembered that this is here, this is available, and how just supportive it felt. So here we go. And
That's great.
And
You got
I'm
this.
excited. And
Yeah.
your story, Jane, is very inspiring. So thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Jane, all right, since you're the one that brought the program to the state of Nebraska, what can you tell us about the origins of this program?
So Real Appeal actually is fairly young. It launched in 2015, and it's based on 20 years of weight loss research. It's an intensive lifestyle intervention program that does focus on weight loss through proper nutrition and exercise. But as we've talked, the difference in Real Appeal is that it doesn't focus on a particular disease state, such as diabetes or even obesity. It focuses on bringing members that are ready to make a change to the table and providing them and meeting them where they're at with ways to deal with life, whether it's your nutrition, your exercise, the emotions that go along with eating, the emotions that go along with exercise. So it really focuses on an inclusive community, and that's what I think really sets it apart.
What would you say has been the overall reception to this program, and not just by the teammates of the state of Nebraska, but across all UHC participants?
I'm pleased to say that we have over 700,000 participants in Real Appeal, and that population has lost over 2.5 million pounds.
Okay, if you guys could see the faces in this room,
Yeah.
we're all picking our jaws up.
Actually, I just got confirmation from Brian. It's up to 2.6 million now.
Yeah.
That's
And
incredible.
growing
Yeah.
at a substantial rate.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
And the other exciting thing about this is that 80% of participants do lose weight in the program, and the average weight loss is about 10 pounds. So the results, in combination with the satisfaction scores that we see from our coaches in the program, which are at 4.86 out of 5-point scale. So people are very, very satisfied with the program. They're seeing results. Real Appeal is really all about making those small steps for big results.
And we say that all the time.
Billy, we're glad you're here.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
And you came to us from Chicago.
That's right, the Windy City.
What can you tell us about yourself?
Well, I haven't always been involved in fitness, but about 15 years ago, I went down a dark path in my life, and fitness is really what kind of dug me out of that path. And I found an old weight set, or I purchased an old weight set and decided that I was going to make a change in my life. And I got laughed at. I got made fun of. Actually, my girlfriend at the time told me that I was lazy and I'd never lift weights, and I honestly showed her the door. I said, "You see that's a door. Go ahead and use it." I'm not usually like that, but you got to go back and figure that this is 15 years ago. I had a little bit of angst left in me. So I got involved in fitness, and I've really never looked back. It really completely changed my life, and I know that if it can change my life and where I was, it could change anyone's life. I dedicated myself to helping others, meeting them where they are, and just helping them realize the change that they already have within them that others may have told them wasn't there, and helping them realize their own self-worth. And I think that's my number one mission in life, and that's what Real Appeal ultimately brings to the table.
In your words, what is Real Appeal?
Real Appeal is a community of amazing coaches and amazing workers that are dedicated to helping others. I have not met a single person at Real Appeal that isn't passionate about what they do. And I get a little bit emotional. I let my yellow color show, my loving nature with my teammates and with my employees, because it gives me all the feels when I'm around them, because they're just so passionate, and I feel that same passion within me. And Real Appeal is really just a program that's dedicated to changing the world one person at a time.
So you told us a little bit about your journey and how fitness just totally revolutionized your life. What was the path that led you to become an actual Real Appeal coach?
Oh, that's a great question. So I was a personal trainer for many years. I worked in several commercial gyms. I've competed in bodybuilding myself. I've helped prep competitors for their competitions. And I got my degree from Western Governors University in education. I became a school teacher for about 4 years. I thought that, hey, maybe I've been educating people of fitness. Maybe I want to educate the youth, because my goal was to help others. And I'm like, what better place than inner city school? Though it was rewarding, it was so draining to me. It literally sucked the life out of me. And I ended up resigning without anything in the future. But I trusted God, and I knew that He would be the one that would take care of everything. And my wife actually presented me with this job opportunity. And I read it, and I was like, you're kidding me. She's like, what, you don't like it? And I'm like, no, I love it. Did you make this up? You made this up. And then she's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, well, I'm going to apply for it. It's a fake job. It's a fake job. There's no way that I can do this and help people and get paid for it. So I went into the interviews a little bit with some swagger and stuff, like, this isn't even real. It's not realistic. Well, a week later, I got a call, hey, second interview. Got the second interview, and I was actually at a wedding in Oregon, and I got a phone call, and they're like, all right, well, you got the job. And I was just like, oh, awesome. And I still wasn't like 100% sure that this was real life, But they brought me on, and I was immediately sold when I read all the research about Real Appeal and how everything is scientifically backed, everything is research based. They're not going to spoon feed the members or the coaches anything that's not true. And I believe in everything that they preach. So it really just gave me that opportunity to do what I've wanted to do with my life all along.
Are there some specific qualifications that are required to be a Real Appeal coach?
Yeah. First off, you have to have a passion for helping people. That's first and foremost. But you do have to have a 4-year degree. We would like you to have some sort of former coaching experience. It's not necessary if you really fit the bill. And at least some experience in a health or fitness related field.
I think you've touched on this a little bit, but do you have like an absolute favorite part of being a coach?
Oh gosh, I think the better question would be what I don't love about it, because I honestly, the only thing I would say that I sometimes, there's a lot of meetings, but other than that, I absolutely love it. Just when the members share a success and you can just hear it in their voice. If I'm in a one-on-one session with someone, or even if I get a message from them, you could just really feel their emotions. And to me, that is the most rewarding thing. I would honestly, I would do it for free, but I mean, I got to pay the bills.
Is there a particularly inspiring story that just stands out to you?
Yeah, actually, when I first kind of came on board with Real Appeal, I had this one individual. She was in numerous coaches classes. It was her second go around with Real Appeal, and she hasn't been ready to make that change. And she didn't really know what was going on. She thought something was wrong with her. I met with her for a one-on-one, and I really just met her where she was. And lo and behold, the next week, she goes, Billy, I accomplished my goal. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. She's like, this is the first time I've actually followed through with one of my goals. And I just praised her for it. And I said, if you don't mind, would you share that with the rest of the team when we have our session? Well, she actually became like the ringleader of that group. And she was rooting everyone on, completely changed her life. She met her goal weight. She surpassed it. And as of session 52, I know that she was still going strong. And I have no doubt that she's still doing it.
I'm sure there's a whole bunch of those stories.
Oh, yeah, I could go on all day.
So what's your favorite recipe from the Real Appeal Foods Guide?
Ooh, what don't I like? I don't like any of the shrimp stuff in there because shrimp does not agree with my stomach. My tum-tum does not like it. Peanut butter and chocolate, I could literally live off anything peanut butter and chocolate. Like if Reese's cups were good for you, I would eat all of them. They would go out of business. But they have a peanut butter chocolate shake that is phenomenal. The only tweak I make is I add a little extra ice cubes to it because I like it really thick and cold. But now I want one. So thank you.
So
we
do I.
actually we have a blender upstairs.
Yes,
do.
we'll make peanut butter
Let's go
chocolate
make.
shakes.
So Lisa, I have something that I'd like to add about how when we are able to help a member change their philosophy, many times it oftentimes might be the person in the family that does the cooking, or they might inspire the rest of the family. And I have seen that in my own family. I've heard that from other people that have done the Real Appeal program, that when they started to eat differently and their family members saw how it changed their life, how it changed their health. We have a number of couples that have gone through Real Appeal together and have shown such great success. My own personal story is that although my daughter did not go through Real Appeal, she found her own path. She actually lost over 60 pounds shortly after I lost my weight and has maintained that weight loss for over 2 years herself. So I do believe that the people that are around you affect you, and I think that Real Appeal has an overreaching effect on our family members and our friends as well.
There's probably no way to quantify the impact that it's having, but clearly it is having a huge impact.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite form of physical activity, Billy?
I like to lift weights. I like to pick up heavy things and put them down. It's kind of like my sanctuary when I go into the gym. I tune out all the problems and the worries of this world, and I'm just able to put myself through agony for about an hour and a half, and as sick as it sounds, I love it.
Well, we know that when a new member joins Real Appeal, they get this big box.
Yeah.
And that's always exciting, right? To get like this big box of stuff. And as you're unpacking it, there's the food guides that Katie mentioned, and there's some tools to help you in the kitchen. But then there's also this group of workout DVDs.
Yeah.
I remember I opened it up and was like, all right, sure, I'm going to do cardio. I will confess that after the very first time I did Cardio 1, I broke down crying.
David Jack would be proud.
Yep. Well, I mean,
Wow.
I feel like he's my buddy. Like
He's
when
awesome.
when he's high-fiving the screen, I really feel like he's high-fiving me.
Did you go up and high-five the screen?
I did.
I think
Tell us what you think about the workout program that comes along.
I think they're awesome. Simply because many people don't feel comfortable walking into a gym. There's a lot of people, it's crowded, you feel like they're being judged, and rightfully so. There are people out there that judge others at gyms, and it can be a very terrifying endeavor. The amazing thing about the DVDs is you can work out anytime, anywhere. I know a lot of people don't have DVD players anymore, but the app now actually has the workouts on them. So, I mean, you could have David Jack on your phone 24/7. How cool is that? And all 6'5" or whatever he is fits in there. But they are amazing. They work. They guide people through what their ability level is, starting with Cardio 1, then you move on to Cardio 2 and Cardio 3. And same with the other ones.
So that's one of the areas that I talk a lot to the state of Nebraska teammates when we're out on the road, is about the DVD program, because I think that it can be a little intimidating for us that have not worked out in the past. It looks like all the people on the DVD they're going to be fit and it's going to be hard and I'm not going to be able to accomplish it. So I started with Cardio 1, and I will tell you that for me, at my age and for what I do, how much time I have, I like Cardio 1 and I like Cardio 2. Those are the two that I do, and I also like the stretching ones that they have, because those are really important for me as I'm changing the way I do things. My body needs some extra stretching, and I love the fact that they're on my phone. When I travel, if I can open up a DVD and I can do the 30-minute workout, and it's amazing how it changes my day.
I bet. So, for those of you that work in this building, if my office door is closed at lunch,
Do not disturb.
do not disturb. We know that with any program you start something new, there's going to be times where you might have a bad day, bad week, something personal going on. You might catch a cold or not feel great. What do you recommend for for our teammates here in Nebraska who, it's so easy when you have one of those missteps or a bad day to just say, that's it, I'm never going to succeed, I'm done. What would you recommend to keep going?
Sure. Well, if there's one thing that we know for certain, life is full of uncertainties. We never know what's coming our way. And all these things, these issues, are outside of our control. And I think if you could ask yourself, what's currently in my control? Because, it's a lifestyle. It's not an exercise program. It's not a diet, right? There's that 4-letter word again. It's not what we told you have to do. It's really ultimately up to you. So what's in your control right now? If you're sick, what can you focus on? Maybe your nutrition a little bit better. If you had a bad day nutritionally, well, you have 2 choices. You could sit there and fret over it, or you could realize that you're human and we're not going to be perfect. What can you do to make progress now?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do moving forward? So I think ultimately just realizing that we're not perfect and there are things that are outside of our control.
Jane, what would you say about that?
I had those ups and downs, and interestingly, through the 52-week program, usually my Real Appeal coach expected them and addressed them at the next session. I was like, how did you know I was having, a plateau, or suddenly I gained 3 pounds and I didn't understand it?
Oh yeah, we had to go through psychic training too.
I'll bet. So the thing for me is to show up the next day and to do one thing toward that goal. It might be, go for a short walk. It might be have something different as part of my food plan. It might be do a meditation. It's something that is good for me. Anything that I can do, even if it's a small step, because that one small step is going to build and build and build. Because my old approach was, when the struggles of life hit, the first thing I went to was food. And I needed to develop new habits. And so now when the struggles of life hit, I tend to go for a walk, because I've got my Fitbit and I get extra calories if I walk a lot. So I like that. So that's what I do.
Session 5 right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little preview.
All right, we're just a few days from October beginning, and we all know what that means. We jump off with Halloween, and then the holidays start piling onto that. So what are some quick tips for getting through the celebrations between now and January 2nd without packing on a bunch of pounds?
Perfect question. The old holiday marathon here that comes up. First off, planning is one of the most important things that you could do in anything in life. And why should it be any different when you're approaching the holidays? If you're a football coach, you don't just show up to the field on Sunday with your players, not have a plan, tell them, go out there, good luck. Although the Bears did look like that the other night. But I digress. You have to have a plan. So when you're going into these holidays, ask yourself, what did I do last year? And what can I do differently this year? Even if it's just a small step in the right direction. Maybe you had to unbutton your belt buckle 2 notches. Well, maybe just aim for 1 this year. It's still progress. It really is. So just being prepared and realizing that there are going to be curveballs coming your way, expect them. And don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Very good.
Boy, we do that, don't we?
We do.
You're just saying, okay, so last year it was 2 notches. This year, let's make it 1. That's such a tiny thing. We expect so much of ourselves.
We do. And, it's that black and white thinking. We have to really realize that there is a shade of gray in there. But many of us are tricked into believing that we have to be perfect. When individuals that are telling you that you have to be perfect, well, they have their own imperfections as well. Why don't you just embrace them? Realize that if you could be better than you were instead of being better than someone else, then you've already won. That's a victory.
You should print that and put it on the wall.
I'll make a poster.
Well, it's certainly been inspiring for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. We are so thankful that you guys came to join us, that you traveled here especially. You got on an airplane to come talk to us.
And I got to go do it again.
We're just super honored to have this time with you. And thank you for sharing your story, Jane. Kevin, thank you for letting us be a part of your journey too. And for all the inspiration and wisdom, Billy and Christy, thank you for letting us know what's going on for our state teammates. We're just very excited to be able to share this with everyone, and we're looking forward to hearing your success stories in the future.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Training Blend. We release new episodes of this podcast monthly. Make sure you follow us at Any State Training on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and State of Nebraska Training and Development on LinkedIn to make sure you don't miss a single episode. Until next time.